There's one prospect in the Baltimore Orioles organization that has everyone on their toes, including the GM Mike Elias, who has been raving about him all spring training. What could this mean for the future implication of the Baltimore Orioles? Welcome to Orioles Digest. I'm your host, Kam Brice. And like I say in every video, before you do anything, hit that subscribe button. If you're a part of this percentage, let's change that today. Come join Orioles Digest. We're giving you daily updates about the Baltimore Orioles that you don't want to miss. Early on in spring training, there's been one prospect that's been on everyone's mind in the organization, and we have some good insight to tell you guys today. Jake Rowe from MLB.com said in a recent article, one guy Orioles players and coaches can't stop raving about, Samuel Basallo. The 20-year-old catcher has some loud BPs and impressive maturity in meetings. Making an effort to speak English, it's clear a lot of people here see him a big part of the future. So today's episode is going to be centered around Samuel Basallo. We're going to talk about what he's doing at Orioles camp in spring training. We're also going to talk about his rise to the majors and could he be one of the best prospects that we've ever seen? Is Samuel Basallo a future star on the rise? So Samuel Basallo signed with the Baltimore Orioles as an international free agent in January of 2021. He made his professional debut that year. It's worth to mention that when Samuel signed with the Baltimore Orioles, he was only at the age of 17. So he was a 17-year-old prospect that people didn't really know much about. They never knew that he would turn into this phenomenal prospect star that we're seeing now. In 2022, he was playing rookie ball down in Florida for the Baltimore Orioles. He saw his struggles, but he had a massive offseason that year. Going into 2023, this is when Samuel started to become that prospect that we all know. In single A of Delmarva, he showed signs of power, great catching ability, throwing guys out at second, great pop time, and his power was something that Orioles reporters and players raved about in the organization. Now in Delmarva, he earned the Carolina League MVP and earned a top prospect award. That was the year we started to see him really rise. Now in 2024, he started in Double A, hit 16 home runs, batted around 280, and we saw him get promoted to Norfolk Tides in about the halfway midpoint of the end of the season. Now, he didn't play much games in Triple A last year, but we knew Samuel Basallo had the power to be great. So we just look at these numbers. Look at the numbers that he's done over the past course of his career. Hasn't really hit over 260, OPS well over 800. His home run totals go up every single year. And let's not forget, he's only 20 years old. He's having the same type of generational buzz that Jackson Holliday had when he was back 18, 19 years old. So this is a very good prospect in the Baltimore Orioles organization. I think he's a star on the rise because you don't see a lot of guys like him, especially with the catching ability to be defensively great with a great arm, also with the power like a first baseman or a shortstop that could potentially hit 30 home runs in the MLB. He's a special talent. He's a more polished hitter than Jackson Holliday, Kobe Mayo. Hey, even Gunnar Henderson was in the minors. If you compare the stats, Samuel blows all of them out the water by the OPS, average, on base percentage, home runs, RBIs, and he walks a lot. And that's a key part of his game. He's a very patient hitter. I'm just watching Samuel Basallo swing. It's smooth, leg kick is not that high, generate a lot of power, and you can see all the scouts and players right behind him. They're just laughing, giggling. Wow, this kid is going to be something special. And I see it. He has the potential to even be better than Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman. It just depends how the situation he's brought into. I really think he's going to be one of those guys that takes the next big jump. And that's going to get me into my next topic. Will Samuel Basallo make his debut this season in the MLB? Now it's up for grabs because the Baltimore's just went out, got Gary Sanchez as a free agent. I really think he's going to make an immediate impact on his team. But if he can bring his defensive ability to the team and help guys like Adley Rutschman to get him a couple days off and be a placeholder until Basallo is ready, I really think that's a good situation for the Baltimore's. Now, I already talked about Adley Rutschman. He's going to have a career year. He's going to have a bounce back season. He's the catcher from the future. I know we all want to talk about Samuel Basallo and Adley Rutschman splitting time when they both get there, but I think Samuel's the type of guy that you could put in the DH position or possibly at first base if things with Ryan Mountcastle or Kobe Mayo doesn't work out at first. Now the question is, will he make his debut this season? I think he will, but he'll probably be an August or September call up. This roster is so log jammed in the infield. Ryan O'Hearn, Ryan Mountcastle, Heston Kjerstad, Kobe Mayo, all of those guys have the potential to either play first base or DH. And why I say Heston Kjerstad is because if Heston Kjerstad doesn't play the outfield, remember, he can still play first base. They have given him reps in spring training at first base. So that's another key factor to think about. But for Samuel Basallo, if he dominates at AAA and is batting over 400 by the All Star break, then the Orioles have no problem. But you have to bring him up. But where will he play? I want to ask you guys a question, and I want you to let me know in the comments. When do you think is the best time to bring Basallo up? I say August and September, but if he rakes through AAA, then the Orioles will have no chance to bring him up even earlier. Now, it's a key factor to think of. There's other prospects like Enrique Bradfield Jr., Dylan Beavers could possibly make his MLB debut, Chase McDermott, who is going to start the season on the IL but should be back. He would have made the opening day roster, but lat strain pushed him back, so he should have a small recovery time. Kyle Brash will be back at some point. So there's roster limitations that the Baltimore Orioles have. But for Samuel Basallo, he's a generational type of prospect. I know a lot of guys did not know who Samuel Basallo was 2 years ago, but he's rose through the minors so fast. There's so many options the Baltimore's can go with this, but I think the best situation is call him up after the All-Star break or make him a September call up. Samuel Basallo, the best prospect we ever seen in the Baltimore Orioles organization. To me, I think it's very close between him and Jackson Holliday. Jackson Holliday is the best prospect I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen a guy dominate the minors like Jackson Holliday. But Samuel Basallo is doing the same thing at a kind of a faster rate. Remember, he's from the Dominican Republic. He's been playing professional baseball since the age of 13, and he's been playing against grown men at the age of 16 and 17 and dominating at every single level. So he kind of has that homegrown talent that he's always been playing baseball, and that's been his only way out. Instead of Jackson Holliday, has had major leagues, and his guy who's a Hall of Famer taught him different types of ways and how to develop as a player. So I think Samuel Basallo path might be difficult, but I still think Jackson Holliday is the best prospect we ever seen. Now, if Basallo goes and tears up AAA and bats over 400, I think you can put him in that situation that he's the best prospect ever. But for right now, it goes to Jackson Holliday. Let me know in the comments, who do you think the best prospect we ever seen in the Baltimore organization is? So that's all we have today, folks. Thank you for joining Orioles Digest. Turn on post notifications. Hit that subscribe button. Me and John are giving you daily updates about the Baltimore Orioles every single day that you don't want to miss. From Orioles Digest, I'm Kam Brice.